opportunity to share this piece of work with you, entitled the multifunctional soft materials. So today I'll be talking about soft materials, unlike the other speakers or topics about solid state materials at this forum. So I would try to my best to make you understanding about soft materials, particularly the gels. What is meaning of gels? Can we design a molecule or synthesize a molecule which can produce a gel in our research laboratories with very common, very orderly facilities? And also I'll be talking about how to characterize soft materials and what are the basically applications related to human life or our society. And notably, I'll directly focus on use of gels related to human lives, and I hope you'd learn and enjoy my lecture on multifunctional soft materials. So as you know, so based on the age of engineered materials, can be divided into three parts: stone age, metal age, and modern materials age. Okay, so further this metal age further sub classified into three parts: bronze age, iron, steel, and aluminum. Further, the so early man used stone and metal to fulfill their societal various kind of requirements. So at this STC is related to advanced materials. So at this forum, I'll be talking about mainly soft materials, not about these metallic things. So historical epochs can be defined as materials from stone, bronze, and iron age to modern era of steel age, as I discussed in previous slides. So for last 70 years, the silicon age came into the picture, and then for last 10 years, the carbon age has been started. So you can say that we may be on threshold of a time dominated by one of the most common of the all elements, that is called carbon. So now the people trying to explore this carbon as a future material for various kind of direct applications. So a modern material is a material that has been engineered to have improved properties. Okay, basically we do the research to improve this materials properties, that comes under category of advanced and modern material. For instance, concrete, aluminum, steel are commonly used modern materials, but more recent additions includes material that have changed the way of manufacture to use these products. So most of the modern materials are derivatized and prepared by using our research skills. For instance, this alloys, ceramics, composites, polymers, and most advanced materials are soft materials and smart materials. For instance, the gels. So moving towards next slides. Now next question arises: what is smart materials? So smart materials, also called intelligent or responsive materials, these are the designed or researched materials that have one or more properties that can be significantly changed in a controlled fashion by external stimuli. What are the external stimuli? Like stress, moisture, electric or magnetic field, light, it may be temperature, pH, or it may be a chemical compound. So as demonstrated here in the figure, few examples of smart materials. Okay, for instance, this piezoelectric materials, magnetostrictive materials, thermoelectric materials, safe memory alloys, rheological fluids, etc. So today I'll be talking about this rheological fluid. that is gel. So best example of rheological fluid is gels. So I'll highlight today about gels, how to synthesize, can we design a molecule to achieve these gels, and how to characterize these gels, and what are the possible applications related to human life. So as I am going to talk about the rheological fluids, so we need to understand the rheology. What is the rheology? So let me introduce this basic concept of rheology, because it is a like a bread butter to taste the to characterize the solid state like nature of soft materials or gels. So rheometry or this rheology refers to the experimental technique, and notably is used to determine the rheological properties of the materials, soft materials. So rheology being defined as hello.
Yeah, we are here, Dr. Dwaji.
Oh, there was something power interruption. Okay.
Power car. Yes, power
Yes.
shutdown. Yes.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, please continue.
Okay. So I was talking about this rheology. So as mentioned here. Okay. So as it is mentioned here, the term rheology originates from the this Greek words rheo translate to the flow and logia, meaning the study of. So we can say that study of flow. Rheology means study of flow. So although as from the definition described in this second line, rheology is much about the deformation of solid like materials, as it is about flow of liquid like materials, and in particular deals with the behavior of complex kind of elastic materials that show the property of both solid as well as liquids in response to the notably the first force, then second deformation, and the third one is the time. So there are three factors: force, deformation, and time. So there are number of rheometric tests that can be performed, and this rheometer, I think this one is the model. This is from Anton Par, model MCR 702, I think, that we have at IIT Indore. This rheometer. So this rheometer to determine the flow of properties and viscoelastic properties of material, and it is often used to deal with them separately. So we can consider the two experiments on this. Okay. So flow property as well as viscoelastic properties of a material and this rheometer. So in line with applications, we can use this rheology for direct application to the medicine, cosmetics, and in advanced material science and engineering. So as the figure demonstrated here about the change in structure upon applying this shear stress. So this is the first row condition is about at the rest, means without applying this shear stress. Okay. And if you talk about particularly this condition, this is a kind of polymer chain. Okay. Upon applying the shear stress, it is broken or converted into free chain. Okay. So same condition we can apply in emulsion droplets. Okay. And then elongated particle, and this one aggregated structure. So mainly I will be talking about the last case, okay, where we use in gel. This is kind of fibrous. These nano aggregates align each other and forms the fibrous network. Okay, so before in gel, this is the situation, and after applying this shear, so this will be conditions of something kind of segregation. The right term is segregation of these aligned particles. So this deformation and change at the molecular level aggregate, or you can say aggregate level, can be observed in rheological signals, rheological pictures. So whatever change is there upon applying this shear, we will observe directly in the rheological signals. So, so let me explain few important parameter which is frequently used. Not only used, I will also use during my presentation about rheology. So elastic contribution to the G star is termed as storage modulus. So G prime, single prime is the storage modulus, and it represents the storage of energy. So viscous contribution is termed as G double prime, loss modulus, and it represents the energy loss. So G single prime can be considered to represent the single part, a real part, and G double prime represent the imaginary part of G star. Okay, so now next question arises, what is state of gel? So gel is a material which is neither solid nor liquid, rather in between the solid and liquid phase in terms of this molecular arrangement and intermolecular distances. So it is also worth to mention here that a gel contains 90% liquid and 10% only the solid constituent. So it is really important to understand. So 90% will be liquid and 10% will be solid component for preparation for synthesizing of gel material. So now next question arises related to previous question. Is it possible to recognize or characterize solid liquid gel from the rheology? Yes, the answer is yes, we can do. So if you like look at this middle graph, middle figure, for a gel like material, G prime and G double prime both are the parallel. Okay, and delta is the constant here, at the value degree would be 0 to 45 degrees. Okay, so a suitable mechanical model for describing this gel is a spring in parallel with this Maxwell element, and both elastic solid and gel like system show the yield stress behavior since they require any associated structure which is represented by this spring, okay, which is equivalent to the spring that to be broken for microscopic flow. So if you look at here, so this is parallel, means storage modulus, loss modulus, both are the parallel at a applied frequency, certain frequency range. But if you look at here, the G prime means storage modulus is higher than loss modulus initially, but at the higher frequency it is crossing each other, means a kind of phase transformation takes place in case of solid. While in liquid, if you look at here, this is kind of reverse case compared to the gel and this solid. So this storage modulus, loss modulus is lower than storage modulus, and it is crossing at certain frequency, and which indicates the phase transformation. So these are the basic concept about rheology which we'll use frequently. So now next question arises, what is soft material? So soft material can be easily deformed by thermal stress or thermal fluctuations at about room temperature, and also it includes the liquid, polymers, foams, gels, and it can be colloid, granular materials, as well as the most soft biological materials like tissue and many things. Okay, so if nowadays we are using this so as you know, we are using this sanitizer nowadays to protect ourselves from this coronavirus, as demonstrated in this picture. Okay, not only this sanitizer, this nail paint also the kind of example of gel. Two example of gel. So another question arises: what is gel and metallogel? So as demonstrated in this picture, the gel is nothing but the self-association of these gelator molecules, which align together or aggregate together. This forms the long-range fibrous network, and these fibrous networks further the trap solvents, or you can see the freezing of flow of liquid, and after freezing, the entire mass appears like solid. So when we use metal complex as a gelator, then gel can be termed as metallogel. When you use organic molecule, this will be like organic gel. But when you use metal complex or inorganic complex as a gelator, the gel can be termed as the metallogel. The main driving force for the formation of metallogel is the metal ligand coordination. So well-known example as demonstrated here, well-known example is the synthetic hair gel, which is used for stiffen the hair in a particular style. Another well-known example is the natural aloe vera gel, which is used for various kind of direct medical applications. So gels also present in our body system. For instance, the gel clotting, blood clotting process, articular cartilage present in between the our joints, and it helps in movement of our organ. And basically, it is the 98 to 99% water with very trace amount of hyaluronic acid, glucose, anions, and cations, which plays an important role in providing the metabolic nutrients. So this hyaluronic acid is a naturally occurring substance and usually found in synovial fluid, that is called synovial fluid surrounding these joints. So gel then serves as inside this joint, this particular cartilage. So gel serves as a barrier to diffuse or preventing the contamination of serum with other these cellular components. So in healthy joints, it acts as a lubricant to enable the bone to move smoothly over each other, and as a also it acts as a shock absorber for the joint loads. So gel has very important feature in our joints. So people with arthritis have a lower than normal this concentration of hyaluronic acid in their joints. So gels also present in between inside our eyes, which fills the space between this lens and retina. So many more products are available in the market in the form of gel. For instance, the ointment, encapsulated gel, pharmaceutical silica gels, and gel containing vial used to collect the blood sample, and conductive gel used to record this ECG and ultrasound, and steroid based injectable gel for arthritis, provide the relief for arthritis patients or sufferers. So conductive self-healing gel can be injected in between our joints, contact lens, and implantation of gel inside the breast tissue, and gel also can be used for removing the scars, and it can also use for dressing purpose. So Professor Pakhira, am I
Yes, I'm
audible?
here. Yes, yes, yes.
So, do you remember you had wound then with Vistage Hospital? Okay, so I came to know from that day. Okay, the gel can be used for dressing purpose, if you
Okay,
remember.
okay, okay,
So,
okay.
so that's why I put here. So, gel also
Very good.
can be used for cleaning purpose, and daily usable gels are toothpaste, cleanser, hand wash, energy gels, air freshener, and most interesting example is baby diapers, pee bags, vomit bags, and sanitary pads. So usually this kind of products has powder inside, gelator inside, which absorbs this waste and trapped by this gelator molecule and forms the gel inside. So if you remember in Plight, they provides the bag, okay, vomit bag. That vomit bag has a layer of gelator molecules. When someone excrete this waste liquid, it absorb immediately. So inside bag it forms the gel and it never permit to spread liquid outside. So this is a kind of mechanism in baby diapers, pee bag, vomit bag, and sanitary pads. So gels also can be used in electronics. For instance, the solar cells, diodes, and transistors, sensors, and actuators in thermal shielding. Gel also has a light emitting diodes and in battery and capacitors, etc. So as demonstrated here, so gel electrolyte in between this cathode anode, it can be used in solar gel batteries as well as in lithium ion batteries. Okay, so gel also can as thermal shielding as demonstrated here. The water based gel designed to be used in PCB board assembly area in order to provide this thermal protection of electronic components. So recently the few Indian industry also started to do research in the field of in development of this agriculture gel for agriculture use, that is called agri-gel. So this kind of super absorbent material, a hydrogel, can be a substitute for soil during plantation. That means when you are planting this gel, just spread the gelator molecules and pour the water. It will form the gel. It will trap the entire water molecules, okay, and it will form the gel around this plant, and slowly it will release to the plant when plants need it. Okay, otherwise it will be kind of, so basically it act as storage of water. So particularly in hilly region or somewhere in dry region, if you will use this powder, so it will in summer season it will slowly release water to the plant, and it will become, the plant will survive, and this powder will again gel will become dry. Okay, so it will stay like powder form. So again in rainy season it will absorb this water molecule, again it will form the gel here. Okay, so again in summer season it will release slowly. So within 2-3 cycle it will support to the plant for survival at the initial stage. So this is really good kind of research going on. So mainly Reliance and the Indian industries are involved in this kind of research. So if you look at this graph, the number of publication increasing year per year. So among these, 41% contribution come from the chemistry and chemical engineering side, and 26% from material science, 10% physics and astronomy, 8% from engineering, and 12% from medicine and other health sciences. Okay, so we can now consider at gel as a very hot topic for doing this interdisciplinary research. But question is that is it possible to design a molecule not only design and synthesize a molecule with an objective to achieve this metallogel. So another key challenge to obtain gel from very low molecular weight molecule in a cost effective manner. So as we know, we obtain these threads or fibers from this cotton or wool by processing, and we then further we use for weaving this cloths and fancy dress. So similarly, for gel challenge is that can we design a molecule which has this balance hydrophobic hydrophilic part, balance weak interactions, metal binding site, pi interaction, many things. So can we design a molecule with this concept which can fabricate, which can produce these nanofibers? Okay, so these nanofibers basically helps in trapping the solvent, and later stage it forms this gel. So key challenge is to fabricate, to synthesize these nanofibers from a molecule. So it's really a challenging task for material scientists. So let me explain how the idea of metallogel synthesis came in my mind. So after gaining expertise in two different fields like metal coordination and gel synthesis, further I thought that why not mix these two areas of research to synthesize coordination based gels, which is a kind of new area of research, and it falls in the category of metal organic materials or smart or soft materials. So to execute the synthesis of coordination metallogels, I made some strategy. First, I synthesize the ligand, preferably the chiral ligands, and do some coordination chemistry with these ligands to synthesize these chiral metallogels. Further, to establish new methodologies for synthesis of metallogels. Then next step is to explore the possible applications in metallogels. To execute this application part, I do some material chemistry, and possible applications are conductance, which can be used as battery electrolyte, nanofabrication, nanocatalysis, and in optics, for instance, the charge transfer, fluorescence, and gyro optical effect based gels. And most recent one and interesting one which I am trying to develop in my laboratory, the super absorbent gel, which can be further used for agri-gel in agriculture, but in a cost effective way. So by following this strategy works really well. So by following this strategy, I could make this some decent publications. So till now we developed many multifunctional metallogel with broad applications like lithium triggered fluorescent gel, saponification triggered, coordination polymeric. Then I also demonstrated this crystal growth inside the gel matrix. Then intramolecular charge transfer based gel, then ultrasound induced this sonometallogel. So today I'll be talking about this ultrasound induced sonometallogel, then lithium triggered fluorescent, and intramolecular charge transfer. Then I would have to highlight this metallogel to metallogel transformation, which is recently published in Journal of Metal Chemistry C, and few about this ESIPT and chef based this metallogel. So recently we published this a nice work in Journal of Metal Chemistry A entitled this multi-stimuli responsive conductive sonometallogel, a mechanistic insight into the role of ultrasound in gelation. So now there are two terms, one is sonometallogel, another is ultrasound. So let me explain this term. So in our laboratory we use, as you know, in laboratory we use the sonicator just to solubilize or disperse the material due to that in this work we use ultrasound energy to synthesize the metallogel at the expense of first step demetallation, then remetallation to achieve suitable molecular conformation for gel formation. So we can conclude that the ultrasound energy used for synthesis of metallogel, that can be termed as sonometallogel. So when we are using the inorganic component, inorganic coordination complex for synthesis of gel, that is called metallogel. But when you are implementing this ultrasound for synthesis of metallogel, then it can be termed as sonometallogel, which is quite interesting phenomena. So this Takeshi Nota, he synthesized this palladium dimeric complex, and ligand was the NO donor. And this ligand, this palladium complex has this bent self-lock structure, and upon applying the ultrasound, it undergoes the conformational change to attain this planar interlock structure, and this planar interlock structure is mainly responsible for the gel formation. So successfully, he has published 2 JACs in 2005 and 11. So he used this Takeshi Nota used this 2-arm symmetrical gelator for synthesizing this palladium and platinum complex. So inspired from Nota work, we decided to convert this 2-arm symmetrical gelator to 3-arm unsymmetrical gelator, but keeping this NO donor metal binding site quite similar to the Nota work. This NO donor metal binding site is quite similar to the Nota work. So the ligand is now ready. When the ligand dissolved in DMF, you can see it is almost non-fluorescent. So further, when deprotonated with lithium hydroxide, the non-fluorescent solution converted into fluorescent solution because of this binding of lithium. So this position is which is well known, this CHEF phenomena. This fluorescence is because of the elation enhanced fluorescence phenomena. Further, when this solution treated with cadmium state and ultrasound, it forms the coordination polymeric sonometallogel. And notably, this weight percentage is very less, 0.6 weight percent only. And if you look at here, the third arm is remained free from the cadmium coordination. Still lithium is there, which is well characterized by various instrumental techniques. So further, when we replace this ultrasound with other phenomena, other conventional method like heating, shaking, and stirring, it doesn't form the gel. It's remain like solution. So further, when again treated with ultrasound, again it forms the fluorescent sonometallogel. That means we can conclude that gelation is highly selective towards lithium ligand, lithium hydroxide, cadmium state in DMF, and notably the ultrasound frequency 33 kilohertz and acoustic power was the 16 watt. So gel is transparent enough to read the object through it, and we can cut it into desired shape, and we can transfer from one file to another file by using this injection. So gel is also has injectable property, and we can write the object from this gel. Also, the most interesting part is that it has the re-swelling property, means you make it dry and grind it, again dissolve in solution and apply the ultrasound, it will be converted into gel. So shake it, it will become viscous, and if you keep for few minutes, again it will be converted into metallogel. So this gel also shows the thermoreversible behavior, means heat up to 80 degrees Celsius, it will become the solution, and keep at room temperature, it will become again solution. So this is kind of thermoreversible behavior. So as demonstrated in this video, just to show you the mechano-responsive property of metallogel. So my student is trying to break this metallogel by applying this mechanical force. It is almost broken. So he is basically trying to disturb this gel. Even you can see this gel is too much transparent. Almost disturbed. Now he will keep for few seconds to settle it. Now as you can see, this is kind of a reversible property. Shake it, it will become gel. It will become the kind of solution. When you'll keep for a few seconds, it will form the gel. Okay, so it is really worth to mention this line. The gelatin material is not a gelatinous material is not a gel unless one can prove that it is a gel. So just to follow this statement, we performed little rheological study, and rheology indicates that it has the true gel phase material. So if you look at this storage modulus and loss modulus, this has one order higher than this loss modulus. Okay, so at certain PA applied stress, the gel disturbed. Okay, and the same condition with the strain, and you can see here the gel is stable up to, you can say, 100 degrees Celsius. After that, its gel deformation takes place. So which is quite expected for DMF based gel. So further, we also explore this effect of ultrasound on morphology. So before applying this ultrasound, we found this rect random morphology, and upon applying this ultrasound, it converted into fine nanofibrous morphology of about 20 nanometer, and these fine nanofibers mainly trap the solvent and restrict the flow of solvent inside the matrix, and entire mass appears like solid. So you can say that these fine nanofibers are mainly responsible for the gel formation. So now next question arises, but how this ultrasound helps in conversion of this rect random morphology to the nanofibrous morphology? Means what kind of molecular what kind of change are expected or possible at the molecular level? That is important question here. So to understand this, to answer this question, we perform this detailed UV visible titration studies. So first we started the titration between deprotonated ligand as demonstrated in this red line. So this peak is corresponding to the ligand, and when after this, when he started to add this cadmium, and it forms this new peak at the expense of disappearance of the peak corresponding to the ligand. So this nice isobastic points, isobastic point itself confirms the cadmium complex formation takes place. So further, when this solution subjected to ultrasound, if you look at here, this peak completely diminished and converted back to the ligand peak upon applying this sonication. That indicates the demetallization kind of process takes place, but after 5-minute rest, again this peak originates. we suggest the recomplexation takes place after this 5-minute rest. So further, when we replace this zinc with cadmium, zinc also form this coordination complex via these nice isobastic points. Further, when this zinc containing solution subjected to ultrasound, almost you can say there is no change. The red line and blue line, there is no change upon brief sonication also. So which indicates the zinc complex doesn't go for demetallation process. So further, fluorescence study also supports the observation made from this UV visible titration study. In picture A, this blue shift indicates this complex cadmium complex formation takes place, and when this cadmium complex solution subjected to ultrasound sonication, the quenching of fluorescence intensity suddenly takes place, which indicates the demetallation, kind of removal of chef chelation enhanced fluorescence. But after 5-minute rest, again the recomplexation takes place, which is further supported by this lifetime measurement. And what about zinc? Again, when this zinc subjected to fluorescence studies, see, you can see this there almost no change before and after applying this ultrasound. And lifetime measurement also suggests the almost close value, no change. So now again question arises, why the cadmium complex only undergoes the demetallation upon brief sonication? Why not zinc complex? What is the difference between these two molecules? So in order to know the answer, we moved towards the structural characterization and found that this cadmium complex involved metallogel formation has the coordination polymeric nature. And if you look at this third arm, it is remain free from this cadmium coordination. And this structure is well characterized by the SI mass, Jobs plot, and other instrumental techniques. So what about zinc? Zinc has this trinuclear complex which is well characterized by this Jobs plot and X-ray crystallography. So I'll demonstrate you the real molecule, how it looks like in Mercury software. So is it visible, this Mercury software? Dr. Pakira?
Yeah, we cannot see. Actually, yours just stop the sharing. Na?
Okay. Uh, is it visible?
Yes. It is now coming. Yeah.
Yes. I hope now visible this molecule, right?
Yes.
To all. So just quickly, I'll demonstrate you. So I'll remove first hydrogen. Okay, so these are, I'm selecting, these are 3 metal centers. Basically, it is gel and it is zinc. Okay, so these are the kind of trinuclear complex. You can see these two ligands coordinating to the 3 metal centers. So which is not possible in case of zinc. Zinc forms the coordination polymeric structure because of the bigger atomic size of cadmium. So it is tightly bound to the ligand, and that's why it produces the crystal structure. And in case of cadmium, it is not possible. Okay, and it produces the coordination polymeric gel kind of thing. So okay, again back to the slide. Okay, so now we can conclude that this structural difference with cadmium and zinc might be responsible for formation of gel and solution respectively. So in collaboration with few French people like Dr. Christophe Boucher and Professor Sebastian, we monitored the effect of ultrasound and conductance of sonometallo gel. So this picture has been taken in 2017 in TNS Lyon in France. So before sonication, the resistance value found to be 15,938 ohm, and after sonication, the resistance value reduced to the 724. That means 10-fold increase in the conductance value upon applying this ultrasound. So this kind of enhancement is conductance because of this nanofiber formation, well organized structure. So based on the available data and experiments, we propose the possible mechanism for metallogel formation. So metallogelator complex has this randomly arranged metallogelator units, which we observed in TEM also. And upon applying ultrasound, first it undergoes the demetallation process, that is removal of all the metal ions from these organic components. And after 5 minutes, you can see here the fluorescence quenching also takes place. If you will compare with this solution before applying ultrasound and after applying ultrasound, so it's kind of quenching of fluorescence because of this demetallation, removal of metal. So after 5-minute rest, again the remetallation takes place and followed by this coordination polymerization with a asymmetric unit, this where these two cadmiums are bound and one arm of ligand is remain free from this cadmium coordination. So further this coordination polymer leads to the formation of nanofibers, and these nanofibers trap the solvent and forms this gel. So it's kind of quite complicated phenomena we explore with the help of simple instrumental techniques like UV visible fluorescence and lifetime measurement, okay, X-ray crystallography. So for conclusion for this work, so for the first time we pointed out the missing step of demetallation, that is breaking up metal ligand dynamic bond. Remetallation induced by ultrasound energy to attain the suitable molecular conformation for gel formation. So moving towards new problem. So in the last work, this 3-arm containing gelator, when treated with lithium hydroxide, cadmium stain, and ultrasound, it forms the fluorescent gel. And we observed that this third arm is remain free from cadmium coordination. So we thought that it is less significant, less contribution for the gel formation. So in next step, we tried to convert this 3-arm unsymmetrical gelator to 2-arm symmetrical gelator by removing this third arm. So now question for the next, what will happen then when this 2-arm symmetrical gelator treated with metal ion? So further, when this residue isomer be treated with lithium hydroxide in methanol, it forms the fluorescent gel. But when this move this OH from ortho to the para position, then the new residue isomer 2, when treated with lithium hydroxide in methanol, it doesn't form this fluorescent gel. So now question is that why isomer 1 forms the fluorescent gel while isomer 2 forms the non-fluorescent solution? What is the reason behind it? So to know the fact, we performed this structural optimization and found that structural isomer 1 has this bent structure with the dihedral angle of 101, and upon stepwise addition of lithium, it undergoes conformational change. You can see the change in the dihedral angle from 101 to 169 to attain this planar structure into two halves. Basically, this planar structure provides the platform for the pi-pi stacking, followed by aggregation, then trapping of solvent, then formation of gel. So on the other hand, Structural isomer 2 also has this bend structure with dihedral angle of 97, and upon treatment with lithium, neither undergoes any kind of conformational change, nor produce the fluorescence, nor produce this gel. So we can conclude here that lithium chelation induces this conformational change, particularly in isomer 1, and this conformational change is mainly responsible for the gel formation. So IV curve suggests that basically it's non-linear trend, which is relatively close to the diode characteristic curve. Okay, so we can conclude that this gel can be used as not directly gel, in dried form of gel, that is called zero gel, can be utilized as a diode material. So by following our work, this Day et al. Also published, not published, they fabricated this device to demonstrate this diode. So based on this experimental data, we propose this possible mechanism for gel formation. So isomer 1 has this bent structure. Upon treatment with lithium hydroxide and methanol, it undergoes conformational change to attain this planar structure into two equal halves, and this planar structure further provides the platform for pi-pi stacking, which this pi-pi stacking is equivalent to J-type aggregation, and this J-type aggregation further kind of forms layer, and it between the layer lithium, hydrated lithium takes place. So you can say swelling of gelator in presence of solvated lithium, and which further leads to the formation of nanograin, and this nanograin aligned to each other through aggregation process and forms the nanocluster, and this nanocluster further trap the solvent and forms this gel, and the structure is well characterized and demonstrated here. So moving towards next problem. So again, when we decided to replace this OH with boronic acid core, just we replace this OH with boronic acid core. So for next question, for the next one, what will happen when this boronic acid containing gelator molecule will be treated with lithium hydroxide? So it also forms this gel, and successfully we published this work in recently in Journal of Metal Chemistry C, entitled the glucose triggered metallogel to metallogel transition. So this is kind of first time we demonstrated the metallogel to metallogel transition. So before discussing this work, I would like to highlight my a few recent work which is quite related to that one. Okay, so we designed a molecule which has chiral core in the center, two chiral core, and it has these two donor molecule, two donor atoms, and pi conjugated unit. Then at the end we tag this acceptor units. So this is a kind of acceptor pi donor chiral donor pi acceptor type of molecule. So with this kind of strategy, we assume that this charge transfer will flow from this NH to this nitro via this pi conjugated unit. The same kind of phenomena will also occur this side also. So further, when this ligand treated with lithium hydroxide in DMSO, it forms this red color gel, and this red color is because of this charge transfer phenomena within the metallogel matrix. So we explored the mechanism behind this intramolecular charge transfer. So this isomer 2, when we dissolved in DMSO, it didn't form any kind of gel, and it didn't produce any kind of color. So we thought that our strategy failed. Okay, it should, we expect that this lone pair electron or charge will flow to the nitro via this pi conjugated unit. So further we thought that maybe it need another pooling agent, so we added the potassium hydroxide with assumption that the potassium will attach to the nitro group, okay, O minus and K plus, so it will pool the charge density towards this nitro, and hydroxide will help in deprotonation of other protons to make it network. So other our strategy worked well this time, so it produced the quite intense red color. Further, when this to prove this role of potassium in the pooling as a pooling agent or charge transfer initiation, further we treated this molecule, this solution with 18 count 6, and you know the 18 count 6 has a capability to trap this alkali metal ion. So now if you look at here, this solution turned colorless upon treatment of 18 crown 6, but further when again treated with potassium hydroxide, it becomes the intense red color. That means potassium is playing the role as a pooling agent of charge, and it is producing the color. So this phenomena is well proved by the UV visible titration, and this peak is corresponding to this ligand NDMSO when upon treatment with potassium hydroxide, and this peak completely diminished and forms this new peak. Okay, and if you look at, this is around 450, which is region, well known region for this charge transfer. And further, when this solution is treated with potassium hydroxide, crown ether, again this peak diminished completely and new peak formation takes place, which is corresponding to ligand only. So which confirms this potassium is playing role in pooling as a pooling agent, and it helps in formation of intramolecular charge transfer. So now coming to the Journal of Metallic Chemistry C, where we demonstrated for the first time metallogel to metallogel transformation can be possible. Okay, this boronic acid core containing ligand, when treated with lithium hydroxide, it forms this transparent metallogel rather than forming any kind of red color. So further, we wanted to utilize this boronic acid core, and you know this boronic acid core is well known for binding up the glucose molecules. Further, when this transparent metallogel treated with D-glucose, it from this time it forms the red colored metallogel. So we thought that initially this red color is because of the charge transfer, like our previous work just now I demonstrated. So but when we went for detailed structural characterization and solution study, we found that this gel color red color is not because of this charge transfer, but because of this binding of this glucose molecule to the boronic core. So this was quite interesting phenomena for us. So without disturbing the gel phase, we could perform the reaction inside, and we could produce the a second gel which has entirely different physical appearance. So this absence of charge transfer well proved by this UV visible titration, where this gelatin molecule treated with lithium hydroxide, it produce similar peak, but through this isobastic point, nice isobastic point, which suggests the adduct formation takes place between ligand and lithium. And further, when this lithium containing solution treated with D-glucose, we also observe the isobastic point, which confirms this there is kind of reaction between organic ligand plus D-glucose. So which is indicative towards the formation of new species like ligand, deprotonated ligand and D-glucose with no charge transfer band. If you look at here, there is no such kind of peak. So we can conclude here the color is because of this binding of glucose, not because of this charge transfer. So further we explore the physical properties of this metallogel just to demonstrate the metallogel to metallogel transformation. This white color, this lithium containing gel, is quite stable, thermostable up to 120 degrees Celsius, and this is stable. We can make the gel bridge, we can make the desired shape like button, cone, anything. And further, when this D-glucose treated the red gel, also thermostable up to 120 degrees Celsius, and we can make any shape, and we can lift in air. We can make the gel column, and gel column up to 8 centimeter length and 5 mm diameter. Such a big block we can make, and interestingly we can hang it in air without disturbing anything. So it's quite a stable gel. We can, as I told you, we can mold any shape like button, cone, cylinder, anything. So it has also load bearing capacity up to 30 gram, and we can make the salt bridge up to 3 centimeter length. And gel has the load bearing property as demonstrated here, and here also we can insert one by one the 3 spatula with weight of 23 gram. Okay, so we can hang in reverse direction in the air. So lithium containing gel has the fibrous morphology, and upon treatment with the D-glucose, notably it is also shows this fibrous morphology, but the diameter has been significantly changed from this 50 nanometer to 20 nanometer. This is a kind of interesting phenomena for us. So gel, without disturbing the gel phase, the entire structure is changing upon treatment of glucose. That was really interesting for us. So we wanted to characterize the structure, what is happening inside, but powder XRD shows that this is black line is for this ligand, and this is for lithium containing, and this one is the glucose treated gel. So you can see this here, the ligand converted into this amorphous, from crystalline to amorphous. So we couldn't do for single crystal or something. So further, this as this molecule is chiral and glucose also chiral, so we wanted to perform this circular dichroism study, and found that this ligand has the positive Cotton effect, and lithium treated ligand has this positive, then now negative, then positive Cotton effect. So which suggests the significant change in conformation of ligand. And when this glucose we treated this solution to the glucose, again it converted into a negative Cotton effect as well as positive Cotton effect. So this also suggests that kind of huge conformation change upon treatment of glucose takes place. So to analyze the conformational change, we performed detailed proton titration study and found that if you look at here, this peak is corresponding to the aluminum proton, this HF. When treated with lithium hydroxide, this peak slowly diminished, okay, disappeared, but it produced the new peak just adjacent to the F. So we assigned it as a F dash, okay. The new peak appeared like this. So this is because of the conformational change from NT to SYN, and it remains same after treatment with lithium hydroxide. This NT conformation changes into SYN, and it remains same after treatment of glucose also. So what the mass spectral analysis reveals that we characterize the ligand as well as lithium treated gel as well as the glucose treated gel, which is well commensurate with the simulated pattern of isobastic pattern of mass spectroscopy. So based on this experiment, CD NMR spectroscopy, we propose this possible mechanism for metalogel to metalogel transformation. So when this ligand, it has the anti-conformation through this aldemin bond, upon treatment with 6 equivalent lithium hydroxide DMSO at room temperature, the NT is converted into syn conformation. So upon treatment with D-glucose, it remains same. Okay, so it is kind of anti-syn kind of transformation through this aldemin bond. I demonstrated this in this insect. So along with not only conformation change, it also the color change also takes place accordingly from this white color to intense red color. So rheology also suggests this true gel phase material. You can see the storage modulus and difference between storage modulus and loss modulus is one order, and upon 3 Pa log value, upon applying the stress, then this gel deforms, which is quite long range of this stress, and strain also about 1% log value, and deformation takes place. If you look at here, the tan delta value, this gel is stable up to 100 degrees Celsius. So what about this glucose treated gel? It also is stable up to 100 degrees Celsius, which clearly suggests the metallogel to metallogel transformation takes without disturbing its gel phase. However, you can observe here the change in the G prime and G double prime value when you compare these two. It is around 5 and this one around 3.4. This is a kind of, it indicates the kind of weakening of gel. Dr. Pakhira? Dr. Pakhira,
Yes, I'm here. Continue,
can I
please.
take 2 minutes just break?
Yes, yes, why not? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Pakhira.
You are welcome.
Okay, so rheological overall conclusion is that rheological study suggests that the metallogel to metallogel transformation takes place without disturbing its original phase gel. phase. Okay, so further we also demonstrated this gel has this electrical conducting property, okay, as demonstrated in this picture. So when you will detach this wire, this bulb is turned off. When you will attach this slightly this wire, the light is turned on. So we demonstrated in other way also. When you will this gel block, when you will cut it, the light is off. When you will attach it, light is turned on. So this is a kind of gel can be used to complete the electrical circuit, okay, which indicates this conductive nature of gel. So this experiment is not enough to say that it is conductive gel. So further we move towards the Nyquist impedance, means electrochemical impedances study, and found that this lithium treated gel demonstrated in this red line has this resistance value 11.6 kilo ohm, and upon treatment with glucose, its resistance value reduced to the 2.3 kilo ohm because of this structural rearrangement. This experiment basically also suggests the kind of structural rearrangement within the gel matrix. So based on these experiments, whatever I discussed, so I proposed the possible mechanism for gel formation, and this ligand is demonstrated as this. So this curve shows this binding metal binding site. Okay, when treated with 6 equivalent lithium hydroxide, it forms this. Let's take the 6 lithium at different binding sites. So when this ligand further, this adduct further undergoes the segregation process and forms these fibers, and these fibers trap the solvent and freeze the entire system and forms this gel. So when we further treated with 2 equivalent glucose, because this active binding site, boronic acid binding site is available on both sides. So this glucose molecule bind to the boronic core, which is well characterized by various instrumental techniques like NMR, mass. And this molecule also undergoes the aggregation process, and it also forms this fibers, even significantly less diameter, like 15 meter, and this also trap the solvent and form this gel, red color gel. And this red color gel is notably not because of any kind of charge transfer or optical things, but because of this binding of glucose that is well explored in this work. So moving towards next problem, let me discuss the strategy behind gelator design this time. So we use this gelator molecule to produce the fluorescent gel, metallogel. So now we decided to remove this middle chiral center as well as hydrophilic part. Just we converted into plain ligand, but this time it is not hydrophilic, but it is hydrophobic. Further, when this ligand treated with the base in metal ion, it so this is question for next. Okay, so we this work we successfully published in this year's Soft Matter, entitled Lithium Enriched Cobalt Induced Metallogel, a study on thixotropic rheological behavior and conductance. So this ligand is ready. So when we dissolved in DMF and treated with 2 equivalent of lithium hydroxide, it forms this colorless solution converted into intense yellow color. Further, when we treated with the cobalt acetate, this solution at room temperature in DMF, it forms this 2:2 ratio metallogelator complex, and this complex has tendency to aggregate each other, and it forms this fiber than usual process like red color metallogel. So we also explore the various kind of physical property of gel. We can write the object and we can fill in injection, we can transfer it. Another vial we can make it film. Okay, so it is notably it is resistant to ultrasound, means you sonicated almost 15 minutes, there was no change in gel, but when you will shake vigorously shaking, it will become the kind of solution, and when you will keep for few minutes at room temperature, it will convert it into gel phase again. And this is interesting phenomena for gel, which is quite unusual also. So when we this temperature, when we applied the temperature 120 degrees Celsius to this gel, rather than melting, it is going to the up to neck of the valve. When we remove this temperature, again it settle down and forms this gel. So rather than melting, it is going up. It is quite unusual for DMF based gel. So this gel also has the fibrous morphology, fine fibrous, which is well characterized by TEM and SEM. And further, this complex formation, everything we well characterize. The complex formation takes place by this isobastic point, and this time we obtain the DD transition also corresponding to the cobalt 2 ions, cobalt 2 metal complex. And this red color is because of the charge transfer, and because of the DD transition, not because of the charge transfer. So we observe three kind of red color. One was in case of charge transfer, intramolecular charge transfer. Then second case because of the glucose binding, and this time we observe the red color because of the DD transition. So in different three kind of system has three kind of different three phenomena and produce red color. So FTIR also suggests the binding of cobalt to the CO, C double bond O. You can observe here the significant change from 1666 to 1596 centimeter inverse 1. And mass also suggests the cobalt complex formation takes place. Okay, as demonstrated in this inset, the experimental isobastic abundance pattern matches nicely with simulated one. And further, this complex also characterized by Jobs plot also, well commensurate with our proposed structure. And again, this gel has the amorphous nature, so we couldn't move towards the single crystal formation. And gel also has the true gel phase material, but this time we observed this. We performed detailed rheological study to demonstrate the thixotropic behavior of gel. So again, you can see the one order difference between storage modulus and loss modulus. And what is interesting here, so this one temperature sweep experiment. So when you will apply temperature up to 120 degrees Celsius, as demonstrated in one slide, it is moving up in vial. Rather than melting, it is moving up because of it is stable. So rheological experiment also suggests the observation made from this heating. So when we apply temperature, it is stable. You can see here. So when you will cool down, it is following the same trend. So this is a kind of interesting phenomena for the DMF based gel. So even not only temperature, we applied the shear rate also. It is going and taking back almost via the same direction. So what about temperature? At 25 degrees, this has one order. Okay, when we heat it up to 120 degrees Celsius, the difference between this storage and loss modulus is less. Okay, but still it has the gel property. Like you see, storage modulus is higher than loss modulus at 120 degrees Celsius. These things we can repeat in 3 cycles without disturbing its gel phase. So that indicates the thixotropic property of the gel. So what about the strength? When we applied the 1% in strength, the condition is like that. And when we applied the 100%, it reduced to the, but here the, if you will see this, still one order. Gel is still stable up to 100% strain also. So again, when you remove this 100% percent strain and applied to 101%, it is again converted back. So up to 3 cycle it was also stable, and same thing we can repeat with for the shear rate also. So this experiment, rheological experiment, basically suggests this thixotropic nature of this metallogel. Again, this gel is conductive, which is well characterized by this Nyquist plot and this IV curve. So I will not go in detail. This is so here a kind of ligand with lithium, then gel, then when after applying the ultrasound, then after heating. So this is a kind of change because of this change in the rheological property of the gel. So we also further propose the mechanism for gel formation when this ligand treated with this lithium hydroxide and cobalt complexation takes place. So this time it is like helicate complex, and then fiber formation, and these further fibers trap the solvent and it produce the red color, and this time red color is because of the DD transition. So let me summarize this tartaric acid related metallogels. So in the first part, I demonstrated that this metallogel has the fluorescence in nature. Okay, this metallogel also revealed this nanoball morphology. Further, when we replace this OH with nitro group, okay, and treated with lithium hydroxide, it produced the red color gel, and this time we obtain this twisted fibrous morphology, which is quite interesting phenomena. And this twisted fiber morphology is because of the presence of these chiral centers, and this red color is because of the charge transfer, presence of charge transfer within the metallogel matrix. So further, when we replace this nitro with boronic acid and treated with lithium hydroxide, it produced white color gel. So further, when this white color gel treated with glucose, D-glucose, it forms this red color gel. So this was the first example of metallogel to metallogel transformation without disturbing its gel phase. And this red color is because of the glucose binding. So in other work, we next time we try to completely remove this flexible core and convert it into a rigid core you can see here, but the NO donor metal binding is quite similar to this ligand. So when this new molecule, and you can say this is smallest organic gelator treated with lithium hydroxide, it forms the fluorescent metallogel, but this time the fibrous morphology rather than this nanoball cluster morphology. So we can say here the small modification, small changes in the molecule, we obtain the different kind of gels having various kind of means different properties for different kind of applications. So recently we are also trying to develop this mixed ionic electronic conductor in gel phase for battery and supercapacitor applications. So I will not discuss in detail because this is just submitted work. So as you know, these MICs are used to establish the interface between electrolyte and electrode. So with an objective to reduce this interfacial resistance, which helps in providing this smooth ionic and electronic transport, or you can say conduction. So here for the first time, this work reports metallogel based MICs without incorporation of any external dopant. External dopants means it's conductive external dopant having suitable range of conductivity desired for electrochemical application. So you can say this is a kind of inbuilt mixed ionic electronic conductor without using any external dopant. So people also tried many things. For instance, this Pan et al. He published this nice work in interface He utilized this hydrogel electrolyte for development of battery, and Banerjee et al. Utilized this zinc containing metal organic gel with immediate free ions which exhibits the self-healing property has been synthesized for application. So he basically used for development of supercapacitor. So inspired from these two works, we thought that why not develop this mixed ionic electronic conductor. So with this objective, we synthesize this ligand. This ligand is basically this mandelic acid derived ligand. So this is a kind of condensation of mandelic acid plus imidazole. So this will be like one the electron rich, another is electron deficient. So it is expected that this charge can flow from rich center to the deficient center. So further, when this ligand treated with 2 equivalent lithium hydroxide, it kind of deprotonation takes place, and when we added half equivalent zinc acetate, it forms this complex, and this complex has tendency to aggregate, and it also forms the fiber and forms this gel. So further EIS electrochemical impedance study suggests that this gel can be utilized for mixed anionic electronic conductor. So as usual, this gel has fibrous nature, and we rheological things suggest that this gel has true gel phase material. And if you look at the figure A, this is Nyquist plot. Resistance of metallogel was measured from Nyquist plus, and using obtained resistance value, the conductivity of metallogel was calculated to be range of -2 Siemens per centimeter, which indicates that it can be utilized for this electronic device. And figure B, the Bode plot, it shows this variation in impedance with the frequency, which suggests the existence of two modes of charge transfer dynamics corresponding to basically two types of conductance behavior, namely ionic and electronic. And this figure C and D, um, the magnitude and phase of impedance were almost constant at lower frequency of 0.1 hertz within a time duration of, you can say here, the 3 hours. And there was a slight change in impedance of metallogel when subjected to higher frequency of 10 power 6 hertz. The constant behavior of this impedance against this time signifies the electrically stable property of this metallogel. So based on this, I'm not going in detail characterization and study. So overall summary is that this gel has two kind of electronic transport pathway and two kind of ionic transport pathway. In electronic transport, there is possibility of ligand transport pathway, which is demonstrated here, ligand to ligand transport pathway. And second possibility is the metal to ligand pathway, which is demonstrated here, metal to ligand pathway. And in case of ionic transport, also two possibility. One is functional group assisted ion transport, which is demonstrated here. The functional group involved in transport of ions. And fourth one is the self-assisted ion transport, which is demonstrated here within the gel matrix. So this is overall summary about mixed ionic electronic conductor. And recently we started the work in direction of development of super absorbent hydrogel inside our laboratory. So presently we developed some molecule which has super absorbent property. Just it forms the gel quickly at the 0.5 weight percent only. So we are working in detail. So it has it is quite a stable gel. We can stain it, we can fold it, okay, so without breaking. And this also has the thermo reversible property. So we are planning to use this gel in the field of agriculture. So here table demonstrated just to demonstrate you the bait percentage, how much bait percentage used for this baby diaper. Just hydrogel 0.5 to 2%, 10% for this commercial purpose. Okay, and this is stable up to 25 to 200 degrees Celsius, which is used for diaper. In this case, 0.5 to 2% only weight percent, which is quite less compared to the commercial one. And this gel is TG is 90 degrees Celsius. So you can say in between this. So let me summarize the today's talk. So I could demonstrate that how sequential structural change in gelator leads to the formation of metallogel with entirely different chemical and physical properties for different kind of applications. So this is a kind of tuning of molecule. With tuning of molecule, we could produce variety of gels with different kind of applications. So it's really smart material. So in first part, I demonstrated that how ultrasound induces the demetallation, remetallation, leads to the sonometallogel formation, which has the conductance importance. And in second part, I highlighted that nanoball cluster morphology constitute from this fluorescent metallogel, which has electronic importance. I demonstrated as we can fabricate the diode. In the third part, I demonstrated the metallogel to metallogel transformation, which is the first report on this topic. And in fourth part, I demonstrated synthesis of metallogel for the mixed ionic electronic conductor application, so which is under review for a good journal. And other kind of also gels on progress in my laboratory. For instance, we published recently, in fact, nanofabrication and nanocatalysis, conductive and super absorbent gels for various kind of direct applications. Okay, and as I told you, the agriculture for the agriculture use. So I am also looking for the collaboration if someone interested to use this gel, particularly in the field of conductance and stimuli response. So most welcome if someone interested to use this gel for electronic device. And let me acknowledge this funding agency, DST, for Inspire Faculty Award, and French Embassy India, which provided me travel grant to visit the France 3-4 times to develop this collaboration, to establish the collaboration. So in other direction, apart from this conductance, other direction also collaboration